This is News 8 Now, this morning.
And somebody may be experiencing their worst day, they're calling law enforcement, and law enforcement are showing up on scene. And so we want them to have the knowledge, the resources, and the best skills possible to approach the situation, to serve that consumer that might be in crisis.
Sharing our experience, sharing the curriculum that we have through mental health first aid, and just providing awareness regarding mental health issues.
Every location, the local food bank sets up a collection station, so they're able to take those donations, and everything you give at a Holiday Train stop stays in the community to help your neighbors in need.
Ever since 2020, everybody's just, I feel like, just in a foul mood. I was just hoping to bring some joy to people's lives, including my own.
And that was your eye-opener. Good morning, everybody, and thanks for watching News 8 Now this morning. I'm Ken Kozarowski. That's Derek Sibley. It is Thursday, December 8th, 2022, and kind of, Derek, the calm before the storm. Friday, I know we're expecting some interesting kind of weather, but today, looking like just cold for right now.
Yeah, just a cold start here to the morning, but luckily, Ken, though, we're going to be warming up to seasonable levels by the afternoon. So even though it kind of starts off a little cold outside now, not to worry, though. Nice. We got some warmer weather here on the way as far as those temperatures go. Let's get a check here on the map behind me, and you can see we're about at least anywhere between 5 to 10 degrees for the most part. Exception here is Eau Claire, because you guys are currently at 16 degrees to a cooler start here this morning. Our actual temperatures in Eau Claire at 4 degrees, so no wonder why we're much cooler than yesterday, because you could see we're pretty close to that 0 degree mark. But you could see we're about anywhere between around 10 to 15 degrees here for much of the Coulee region. Got a few clouds here across our eastern zones this morning, and overall, mostly clear skies for the most part here. City Cam 8 showing us a pretty quiet start here this morning. As we take a look now at your planner for the rest of the morning, we'll be warming up to about 24 degrees at 9, and skies will stay partly cloudy pretty much throughout the rest of the day today. Temperatures warming up into the mid-30s here come this afternoon, with a high roughly around 35 degrees. That should come around the 3 o'clock hour, and we will be looking at more of a southeast wind around 5 to 10 miles an hour here as well today, Ken. But yeah, as you mentioned, we got some changes. That's coming up a little bit later.
All right, you'll dive into that for sure. Thanks, Derek. Let's get to some news this Thursday morning. The Viroqua Chief of Police is suspended without pay. The city's police commission made the decision following an outside investigation into Chief Rick Needfeld's professional conduct. News 8 Now's Emily Haugen has been following this case, and she explains what led to the commission's decision.
I move.
In a time of crisis,
people may be struggling in a specific moment.
I move that the charges against Chief Needfeld be sustained in part.
The Viroqua Police Commission voted 4-1 to hand Rick Needfeld a 10-day unpaid suspension.
Motion carries 4-1.
Mayor Justin Running accused the chief of insubordination, failing to report the harassment of a fellow officer, and lying to the public. He launched an outside investigation by former Grafton Police Chief Charles Wenton. During his testimony last Wednesday, Wenton told the commission the chief should be fired.
Credibility is everything in law enforcement. If you cannot be recognized as a credible witness in court, you have nothing.
Needfeld denied each accusation, telling the committee he always did his job.
Once you get an order, you might have to, find a way to find that solution. I found a different way to find that solution.
The investigation attracted the attention of many community members and Needfeld's staff, many who attended the hearings, to show their support for the chief. After 5 hours of testimony and 3 hours of deliberation, commissioners voted for suspension.
Pose same sign, we are adjourned.
Allowing Needfeld to keep his job. Mayor Running issued a statement. It reads in part, he respects their role and authority on the matter, as well as the prescribed process for resolving these difficult situations. In Viroqua, Emily Haugen, News 8 Now.
Thanks very much, Emily. We have posted the mayor's full statement on our website, and you can also read more about the charges and previous testimony on news8000.com. La Crosse fire investigators are working to determine the cause of an early morning fire at the America's Best Value Inn. No one was injured. Employees at the nearby Quick Trip called 911 to report the fire in a hotel entryway and attempted to put out the flames with a fire extinguisher. According to firefighters, the damage was contained to the exterior of the building, and once the fire was out, all guests and staff returned. The hotel is still open for business. Taking measures to ensure everyone's safety. This week, La Crosse police officers are learning crisis intervention skills. One of the department's goals is to certify all of its officers in CIT. Officers train with mental health professionals, including some from the National Alliance for Mental Illness. They believe training helps the community feel safe.
And somebody may be experiencing their worst day, they're calling law enforcement, and law enforcement are showing up on scene. And so we want them to have the knowledge, the resources, and the best skills possible to approach the situation, to serve that consumer that might be in crisis.
And as a part of their training, officers will also tour Gunderson Lutheran. The La Crosse Police Department is also expanding mental health resources in the community. Officers are training Coulee Cap staff in mental health first aid. News 8 Now's Dua Israr spoke with the training officers who say every area nonprofit should provide mental health resources.
In a time of crisis,
People may be struggling in a specific moment.
knowing who to reach out to may be the key to recovery.
Tools and techniques to work with people who might be struggling with mental health.
The data is just pretty incredible. It's all out there.
La Crosse Police Department is making sure community partners have the resources they need.
Sharing our experience, sharing the curriculum that we have through mental health first aid, and just providing awareness regarding mental health issues.
Coulee Cap is just one of the area nonprofits partnering with the PD.
It's important that we continue to hone our skills so we can be the best service providers.
Officers discussed ways Coulee Cap staff can direct people to long-term solutions.
Training their understanding of, good communication
He's got scared eyes.
and de-escalation and resources available is just critical.
Last year, 21 people in La Crosse died by suicide.
Be aware that mental health issues exist in our community and that we keep it at the forefront of our discussion. Something incredible happens, something
Captain Andrew Dittman says it's important for people to know help is available.
Resiliency and recovery are possible.
Coulee Cap Director Hattie Brown believes having a strong relationship with the La Crosse Police Department benefits everyone.
Police department provides training to us. There are situations where we might provide training and information to them.
So anyone struggling with mental health has the resources they need.
By working together, we can show up better for our community.
Reporting in La Crosse, Dua Israr, News 8 Now.
Thank you, Dua. The La Crosse PD has provided this training to other community programs and schools, including the school district of La Crosse. Well, emergencies don't take a break during the holidays, and neither does the need for blood. The American Red Cross needs more donors to meet demand. Donations usually drop this type of year for a number of reasons. People traveling, cold and flu going around, and others are busy with end-of-year holiday celebrations. Donating, though, quick and easy, officials say. A link is posted with all the info you need at news8000.com. Wisconsin's DNR officials want everyone to keep waste in mind this holiday season. When you're wrapping your gifts, keep in mind that most cities don't accept wrapping paper, especially if it has foiled designs. If your recycling service does take wrapping paper, make sure it's flattened and not crumpled into a ball. Another item that ends up in trash is string lights. Officials say do not put them in your recycling bin.
When it gets to the facility, it's very easy for a light string to get wrapped up into the equipment. You can check in your area to see if there are some special drop-off options for recycling holiday lights, but otherwise put those broken light strings in the trash.
Couple extra steps, but it's all doing your part. If you have broken light strings that you'd like to recycle, Rotary Lights in downtown La Crosse has a collection. Proceeds from recycling those lights go back to funding the Rotary Club. Call it tradition on the tracks. Canadian Pacific's holiday train stopped in La Crescent on Wednesday night. The train makes stops across Canada and northern parts of the U.S. Inside one of the boxcars, a stage so live performers can entertain the crowd wherever they go. A big part of the journey is the food collection done at every stop, and everyone is encouraged to bring a donation.
At every location, the local food bank sets up a collection station, so they're able to take those donations, and everything you give at a holiday train stop stays in the community to help your neighbors in need.
That is a cool looking train. If you missed Wednesday night's stop, there are future stops planned in Toma, Sparta, La Crosse, and Winona. We have a link to the train schedule on our website, news8000.com. Now, we'll have a first warn weather day tomorrow, and we remind viewers to be looking at the bottom of their screen for future school closings. Now, your school superintendent submits up-to-date information to our school closings page on our website, and then we relay everything that's submitted to the bottom of your screen. If you don't see your school on screen during those future bad weather days, be sure to reach out to your school administrator, superintendent, to make sure that they're actually submitting information to our website. Time is now 6:09 a.m. on this Thursday, December 8th. Still ahead on your morning news. This year, workers across many industries have refused to accept what they call unfair wages. Find out what the next big industry is that's joining the picketing lines. And the tips you need to know to keep thieves from snatching your holiday packages this season. That's all coming up after the break. But for now, we're sending you to break with something to put the good in your morning. A simple but unexpected act of kindness last week has changed two people's lives this holiday season. Last week, Barbara Lewis was waiting for winter tires in the Twin Cities when she got an unexpected call that her mother had passed away. After overhearing the sudden news, Cody Zulo immediately grabbed his coworkers to work on Barbara's car. When finished, he then presented Barbara with a hug. To return the favor, Barbara returned to the tire shop on Tuesday with 24 donuts and $100 to give to Cody as a Christmas gift. Don't go anywhere, everyone. More News 8 Now this morning coming up after the break.
And that was a live look there from City Cam 8 showing some quiet conditions, but very cold temperatures, though, well into the teens this morning. And you'll feel it as you head out the door because we're about 10 to 15 degrees or so, much cooler here outside this morning. A few clouds here, mainly across our eastern zones this morning. Maybe a couple of patchy areas of fog could develop as well. We'll keep our eyes on that here for you throughout the morning. Otherwise, today, your zone forecast will be into the upper 30s in La Crosse County today, with highs mainly into the mid to upper 30s here across our south zones. 36 in Viroqua, 37 today in Arcadia, 37 in Blair as well. 38 though in Black River Falls, and as we head to our north zones, it'll be around 36 today in the city of Eau Claire. Schoolcast here for you this morning, 16 and partly cloudy. That turns to mostly cloudy for the lunch hour, 31 degrees, and then mostly cloudy yet again by this afternoon. Temperatures at around 35 degrees. Stay tuned, we'll have another check on your full weather forecasts coming up in just a bit.
Journalists at the New York Times are about to do something that hasn't been done since the 1970s. Go on strike. Today, more than 1,000 staffers are expected to take to the streets to protest their wages, among other things. A historic work stoppage is expected to last for 24 hours. Employees plan on picketing outside the Times offices early afternoon. According to the News Guild of New York, a staggering 90% of the Times workforce is expected to take part in that protest. If you haven't done your Christmas shopping yet, you might be happy to hear this next story. Inflation is falling on some merchandise. That's according to the CEO of Walmart. If you planned on buying a toy, sporting goods, or apparel for some loved ones, you might not have to spend as much. According to the latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, all three items are below the average. Although CEO Doug McMillon says there's still inflation in those areas, it's not as much as other categories. Your porch and mailboxes are likely beginning to fill up with Christmas cards and packages. Unfortunately, thieves have their sights set on those areas. The U.S. Postal Service is offering us 5 ways to protect your deliveries.
You're not the only one excited for a package to show up at your door. Mail carriers have to keep their heads on a swivel for would-be thieves, especially this time of year.
Driving by and seeing that there's a package and all they run up and in 35, 40 seconds, they've got it and gone.
The U.S. Postal Inspection Service records mail theft complaints. The latest numbers from March 2020 to February 2021 show almost 300,000 mail theft reports filed. Our team found a 161% increase in those complaints over the same time frame in 2019 to 2020. And there are some steps you can take to protect yourself.
The biggest and most important thing they can do is not to leave mail and packages unattended for any period of time.
In addition to promptly collecting mail, consumers should keep track of when packages should arrive, ask a trusted neighbor or family member to grab the packages, request a signature confirmation during delivery, and consider the USPS's hold for pickup option.
Tell them that you're going to be out of town or you're not available for this specified period of time. and the Postal Service will hold that mail for you during that specific period of time.
And when it comes to dropping off packages, there are options, but they come with warnings.
Postal Service workers say if you're going to use one of these blue boxes around your area, just make sure that you pay attention to the collection times.
But my suggestion is use them from daylight or opening hours through 5 or whatever the posted time is on that box.
Cash is always a great gift, and thieves agree. That's why they hunt for your holiday mail.
A lot of people send money, bad idea.
And a public reminder that stealing mail is a federal crime. Local postal inspectors urge people to make sure their surveillance cameras are recording their front porches and mailboxes. If a theft does happen, video can be helpful evidence. Case in point, a thief in Kenosha was just apprehended thanks to homeowner Ring camera footage.
Well, this morning we are waking up to a nice quiet start, but also a very cold start, though. Current conditions in La Crosse are at 12 degrees. As a matter of fact here, light north winds at around 3 miles an hour. River Stage is at 4.75 feet and rising. To the north we go in Eau Claire. We're currently at 4 degrees under those partly cloudy skies. Winds here are light out of the north here as well, and around 3 miles an hour. You'll feel it outside the door this morning. 10 to 15 degrees of a much colder start as you head outside, with current temperature readings mainly into the teens. Some of us, like Eau Claire, as we saw at 4, and Ladysmith to the north around 4 degrees here as well. Our high temperatures today should pick up into those mid to upper 30s this afternoon across the Coulee region. Right now things are looking quiet on our local satellite and radar. A few clouds though off to the east. We'll watch out for some patchy areas of dense fog that could develop across our southern and eastern zones. Other than that, high pressure is in place here across the northern Great Lakes, and that's helping to keep us relatively quiet here for us today. Partly cloudy skies, really, if anything. Temperatures at 35 degrees at 5 or 4, I should say, and then by 8, our temperatures then drop to 29 degrees. And at the same time, skies will begin to increase with cloud cover, and the reason being is because we are watching a developing storm system down to our south that is expected to lift its way towards the northeast. And there you can see increasing clouds here as we head into the evening hours. And as that system continues to head in our general direction, we'll be on the north side, so we'll be looking at the snow here developing and spreading its way towards the north across much of the Coulee region, especially during your morning commute hour tomorrow. So that's really important. So you want to make sure that you're paying attention, because we could be looking at some heavy doses of snow here moving in around the 7 o'clock hour or so. And then after that, it looks like most of the snow should begin to wind down here around the noon hour on Friday. Maybe a couple of scattered leftover snow showers, but everything should be gone though by the time we reach around 6 p.m. Friday afternoon, just left over with mainly cloudy weather conditions. Winter weather advisories are in effect for a good chunk of the nation. You can see across the central plains here, and then east here across the Coulee region. Most of us under that winter weather advisory here as well. This is really going to start though tonight and then continue through early tomorrow. And snowfall accumulations could be anywhere between around that 1 to 3 to 5 inch mark. So somewhere we're going to have to pay attention to as we head into Friday. Snow showers here on Saturday that could linger into the forecast as well. Other than that, it looks to be like a mainly cloudy day Sunday and also into Monday. Mild temperatures as high as climb up to 39. And we could be approaching that 40-degree mark early next week with a chance of rain, snow on Tuesday. Some shower chances there on Wednesday, and lows into the 20s and 30s. All right, well, stay tuned. We're back with much more news and weather still to come here on News 8 Now this morning. We are sending you to break, and we'll be right back. All right, we're looking at a local satellite and radar picture now showing us partly cloudy weather conditions across the Coulee region. A few clouds here off to the east of us. Overall, not too bad. Temperatures are into the teens here, around 17 in Sparta, 12 degrees in La Crosse now, 4 degrees currently in Eau Claire. Dog walking conditions this morning, partly cloudy for the morning, and will continue to remain that way as we head into those afternoon hours. Partly cloudy skies will linger as we head into the evening hours here as well. Stay tuned. We'll have a check on your commute forecast coming up in just a bit.
Welcome to the Blitz. The Viterbo men's basketball team is off to a hot start. 4-0 so far at home, a 3-game winning streak. The V-Hawks were looking to make it 4 straight last night and keep that perfect home record intact. Let's go to Viterbo. V-Hawks at home hosting UW River Falls. First half, the home team red hot from downtown. It's Alex King pulling up from deep, knocking it down. Then the V-Hawks in transition. King again spots up and hits. And how about Robert Kunitz, the senior in the corner, is going to bury the three. He had 25 points on the night. Viterbo up 9. Other end, though, Falcons clawing back. Mason Anderson from the top of the key. His 3-ball makes it a 1-point game. But the V-Hawks too strong on their home court. Ben Olsen spinning and winning off the glass for 2 of his game-high 26 on the night. Viterbo back up 5. Second half now. Viterbo still in control. Jack Monis in the paint drops in 2 more. 6-point lead for the V-Hawks. And the long ball was money all night. Luke Spink adds another from 3-point land. V-Hawks soar past UW River Falls 85-70 as they win their 4th straight game. Let's go to Milwaukee. Bucks looking for their 3rd straight win, hosting the Kings. Close one in the 4th, just a 1-point game, but Giannis puts in 2 of his game-high 35. Another monster night for him. Bucks go up 3. Then it's Chris Middleton finding the stroke, knocking down the corner 3. He chipped in with 14 points on the night. Bucks go up 5. Next possession now. Look at the ball movement here from Milwaukee. Grayson Allen wide open from the top of the key, puts the Bucks up 8. Another win at home. Bucks make it 3 straight, 126-113. Let's go to Minneapolis. T-Wolves trying to get back on track, hosting Indiana. Late 3rd quarter, Minnesota down 4, but here come the Wolves. Naz Reid hustling. The putback is good. Wolves down just 2. 4th quarter now, game tied at 94, but Jaden McDaniels changes that with authority. Monster Jam gives the Wolves a 2-point lead. Later in the 4th now, Wolves running away with it. Jalen Noel straight to the cup, puts it in. Wolves get the win, 121-115. That'll do it for sports. We'll see you tonight.
We have some breaking news for you this morning. Iran has executed a man for injuring a paramilitary officer in the first known execution linked to protests that have swept the country since September. The man was reportedly convicted of waging war against God for stabbing a member of the paramilitary force at a protest in Tehran on September 23rd. An Iran news agency reports he was sentenced to death in late October and was hanged this morning. Time magazine has named its 2022 Person of the Year Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. Time praised Zelensky's unwavering leadership during the Russian invasion of Ukraine, from his decision to stay in Kyiv when the bombs started falling to his reassuring words during daily speeches to his country's citizens. Time says Zelensky has proven that courage can be as contagious as fear and has reminded the world of the fragility of democracy and of peace. 25 alleged members and supporters of a far-right terrorist group suspected of aiming to overthrow the German state were detained early Wednesday during raids across Germany. The suspects are accused of preparing since 2021 to carry out actions based on their ideology. The raids were conducted by more than 3,000 police officials and security forces across 11 German states, as well as Austria and Italy. Apple has been sued by 2 women who said its AirTag devices have made it easier for their stalkers to track down victims. In a lawsuit filed Monday in San Francisco, the women said Apple has been unable to protect people from unwanted trafficking through AirTag since launching what it called the stalker-proof device in 2021. Now, the AirTags are intended to be slipped into or attached to keys, wallets, backpacks, and other items so people can find them when they're lost. But privacy experts and law enforcement have said some people use AirTags for criminal or malicious purposes. Texas's governor has ordered all state agencies to ban the use of the social media app TikTok on all government-issued devices over cybersecurity concerns. Several other states and the U.S. military had previously banned the popular Chinese-owned app. CBS's Jeff Pegues has the story.
The social media app is a viral sensation, but today Texas Governor Greg Abbott became the latest state official to ban TikTok from state phones, calling it a security threat. The big concern that Chinese intelligence officials could force TikTok, owned by Chinese company ByteDance, to share the vast amounts of data it collects. In a letter announcing the ban, Governor Abbott wrote, TikTok harvests vast amount of data from its users' devices and offers this trove of potentially sensitive information to the Chinese government. Texas joins Maryland, South Dakota, and South Carolina in banning TikTok over the past week. TikTok is one of the most popular social media platforms in the U.S. It boasts millions of users. Yet for years, the intelligence community has had concerns about how TikTok data is being used.
They also have the ability to collect data through it.
on users, which can be used for traditional espionage operations.
TikTok denies that it shares data with the Chinese government.
For some of the governors, if they take a step back and look and they say, well, what are the threats that we wanted to do, then maybe they should consider banning all social media apps from government phones.
In a statement, TikTok added, the concerns driving these bans are largely fueled by misinformation about our company. This high stakes and intense battle with TikTok over its data is now the subject of high-level negotiations with the U.S. government. TikTok is now offering to move that data to Texas, where it will not be accessible to Chinese officials, but the U.S. government has not agreed to that.
And earlier this week, Wisconsin Republicans called on Democratic Governor Evers to delete TikTok accounts, arguing the data could be used to spy on its users and could be a cybersecurity risk. Well, how to divide a $17 billion budget surplus has Minnesota taxpayers talking. Will the governor's proposal of rebate checks still be on the table? Esme Murphy spoke to legislators on Wednesday to try and find out.
One Walls check proposal was for $1,000 to go to those earning less than $164,000 and $2,000 for couples earning less than $273,000. At the $17 billion surplus announcement, the governor said he will propose Walls checks again.
Get some of this back in the form of rebates to people to be able to use as they see fit.
He did suggest the income guidelines could change.
We are willing to work to see about maybe what some of those income limits were if they wanted to see those change.
Democrats will control both houses of the legislature, and the DFL legislators say their priorities include big permanent spending measures on education, health care, affordable housing, as well as possibly eliminating taxes on Social Security income. But incoming DFL Senate President Bobby Joe Champion told us everything will be up for discussion, including checks to taxpayers. Erin May Quaid of Apple Valley is one of 14 new DFL senators.
And then there's additional priorities, and I know, again, for me, childhood hunger is just going to continue to be one of those priorities.
Quaid says Walls checks are not a top priority for her, but she is also open to any discussion. Of course, priorities can change quickly at the legislature, which will begin its new session the first week in January.
The DFL Senate caucus will be at a retreat this weekend trying to sort out their priorities. House DFL leaders have indicated refund checks are not at the top of their list. Health officials are warning people to mask up again as a storm of respiratory illnesses have caused a rise in COVID hospitalizations across the country. The CDC is announcing that a COVID rebound combined with a rise in respiratory illnesses, flu and RSV, could stretch healthcare workers thin. Children are the most at risk, and the number of children needing hospitalization is currently outpacing some hospitals' ability to expand the number of pediatric beds. To prevent those hospitalizations, the Biden administration is launching a 6-week campaign to encourage people to get their COVID-19 booster shots. The campaign will target seniors and communities that were hit hardest by the disease. So far, more than 35 million Americans have gotten their updated shots, but that number is very low considering 267 million got their initial COVID-19 vaccine. It's a career a young Minnesota man never saw coming. The med student was focused on becoming a doctor when he decided to first become a children's author. Susan Elizabeth Littlefield has the story.
From the time he was young, this Eden Prairie native knew.
I've always leaned towards science. I've always been that. Science and Spanish have always been my two interests, really.
After Notre Dame and years of service, he got his white coat at the University of Minnesota Med School. He also got a beloved mentor, a cardiologist with some heartfelt advice.
Outside of this, we'd like you to go nurture something else that will help you enrich empathy.
Hugh wants to be a pediatric psychiatrist. A children's book, though. This was a little outside of your familiarity.
I mean, I'd never done it before, but I thought I could.
He got a grant from the med school, which funds students' creative projects. He teamed up with a writing partner, and as if he didn't have enough to do, he got to work.
Please don't forget to include all the rest.
And in just 9 months, he published The Way We Play. It's about neurodiversity.
We're special and different in what we can do, and from each of our friends, we learn something new.
How fast or how slow, how tall, or whatever qualities you bring, You all learn from each other. This is the way we play. That's the message that's given in that book.
A message he endorses and a medium he understands. He's been working on kids' books for years, too, and plans to translate this one into East African languages. He says the way to prevent burnout in medicine is to shine light.
Let's go for it and to say, wow, this came to fruition. And I was very happy for him.
And he's excited, too.
When you can do a project like this and sort of highlight like the inherent power of children, and like that children can do really complex things and can teach adults things, you know, that's something that I'm looking forward to in my job.
And if you're interested in the book, The Way We Play is available on barnesandnoble.com. The prosecutors filed criminal charges against a Wisconsin dairy farm for illegally dumping gallons of manure. According to a criminal complaint, in 2019, the farmer collected too much manure at his 2,000-cow dairy farm and hired a hauler to spread it in order to avoid a permit violation. Prosecutors say the farm spread roughly 3 million gallons of unaccounted manure that washed into river branches of Lake Michigan. The defendants are charged with felony counts of conspiracy and fraud. A new transfer agreement will help La Crosse area business students get their bachelor degrees faster. Western students who earn an associate's degree in business can transfer credits to Viterbo's business leadership program and get a bachelor's within a year. Viterbo University and Western Technical College System introduced the agreement on Wednesday. She is the Grinch with a grin. La Crosse makeup artist April Benson spent yesterday morning with seniors at Bethany St. Joseph Care Center, where she painted herself to look like the Grinch. Benson started doing Grinch makeovers back in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. Back then, she was feeling a little bit like a Grinch, and she needed a boost.
Ever since 2020, everybody's just, I feel like, just in a foul mood. I was just hoping to bring some joy to people's lives, including my own.
That's just fantastic. And April recently appeared on the TV show Live with Kelly and Ryan in New York, where there she transformed into Davy Jones from the movie franchise Pirates of the Caribbean.
Conditions here, City Cam 8 looking quiet, and our current temperatures are cold into the teens and 20s, but a lot of us though really into the teens. As you can see, La Crosse is at 12. Eau Claire though checking in with a temperature of 4 degrees, a lot colder there. 18 degrees in Viroqua, 18 currently in Sparta. A few clouds here across our eastern zones here now, and they look like they're kind of staying off towards the east of us. The rest of us looking partly cloudy here for today. Temperatures at around 35. It's pretty seasonal though for this time of the year. East-southeast winds of 5 to 10. For tonight, we drop down to 29 degrees. Snow is likely, especially late tonight into early tomorrow morning. East-southeast winds at around 10 to 15 miles an hour. So for your drive cast out there, things do look good and quiet, partly cloudy skies. That's going to continue for your lunch hour and well into the late afternoon to early evening commute here as well. But stay tuned though, we have some big changes. We'll dive right into it as far as what we can expect with snowfall totals and when this all can start. Coming up in the full weather forecast next. Ken?
All right, thanks very much, Derek. It is 6:41 a.m. on this Thursday morning. Coming up on your Morning Buzz Report, the first look at Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2.
Quiet start here from City Cam 8, but I got to tell you, though, it is a little cold outside. Our current temperatures in La Crosse, as a matter of fact, at 12 degrees. We do have a light north wind to work with at around 3 miles an hour. Our river stage along the Mississippi River, 4.75 feet here, and that is rising here for you this morning. Our current conditions to the north in Eau Claire, much colder, though, around 4 degrees, partly cloudy skies and light north winds here at around 3 miles an hour as well. Overall, the last 24 hours does show us that we're much colder here this morning, and that's because our current temperatures are well into the teens, and some of us even to the north are into the single digits. We got 18 though degrees currently in Sparta, 18 as well in Viroqua, down south Prairie Sheen Basketball, around 14 to 15 degrees there. High temperatures today rising into the mid to upper 30s, forecasting a high of 35 today in La Crosse, and same temperature can be said to the north in Eau Claire as well. Looks like those clouds here have stayed to our east all morning long. Watch out for maybe a little bit of isolated patchy morning fog in some of those spots there as well. High pressure system across the northern Great Lakes is keeping our weather pattern here quiet this morning and really throughout the day today as well. Maybe just partly cloudy skies, if anything. Temperatures warm up to the freezing mark at 32 by noon today, and then 35 degrees at 4 before dropping down at 29 degrees and then turning mostly cloudy as we head towards the early evening hours. So this high pressure system will slide its way towards the south here a little bit, controlling our weather here for the most part today. Again, just leading to a few clouds. But as you can see, we do have this developing low pressure system to our southwest. That in turn is going to help increase the cloud cover tonight and bring us some snow showers on the northern extent of this low pressure system starting overnight tonight around 3 o'clock. We start to tap into some of those snow bands, and then especially as we head into early tomorrow morning, right around that morning commute, 7 o'clock hour, watch out for some snowy weather here across most of the Coulee region. It's really not until around the lunch hour, around noon or so, where most of that snow here is going to exit the area as this low begins to move its way towards the east. We will be looking at everything, though, coming to an end around the 6 p.m. hour tomorrow evening. Skies just left over with mainly cloudy weather conditions, maybe a slight chance of a snow shower there. So winter weather advisories are in effect here for the Central Plains eastward through the Coulee region. So yes, this does include us. This is going to start tonight and go through tomorrow. And we are thinking some pretty significant snowfall accumulations around here. I am thinking around 3 to 4 inches are possible, mainly across our central zones and across our southern zones, as well as most of northern Iowa. And in fact, isolated totals could even exceed that mark as well. So let's take a look now at your 8-day forecast, and you can see that we will be looking at some good snow chances here through Friday. And then after that, we start to wind down those snow chances down to 40% Saturday. Mainly cloudy for the rest of the weekend and also into early next week. Watch out for another chance of rain, snow around Tuesday. High temperatures warm up to around 40 degrees. Lows into the 20s and 30s.
In our Buzz Report this morning, here's your latest look at the new season of Star Wars: The Bad Batch.
So, this is the top team. The rogue clones on the run from the Empire, huh? Hello. How juicy.
Is that just me, or did it sound like Wanda Sykes might be a guest voice? I don't know about that. As the ragtag mercenaries continue charting their own path after the fall of the Republic, Star Wars: The Bad Batch Season 2, maybe starring Wanda Sykes, we'll have to confirm that, debuts January 4th on Disney+. Civil rights leader Al Sharpton's life story is about to be told on the big screen. The 2-hour documentary featuring Sharpton's career debuts at theaters in 50 cities on Friday. Known for his brash style, Sharpton says he hopes the film titled Loudmouth inspires young people to join movements against injustices in their own communities. Today and tomorrow, 50 cents is going to go a long way in one specific drive-thru. McDonald's is offering its double cheeseburgers for just $1 at select locations, but there is a catch as well. Customers must order on the food chain's app and pick the order up. It's part of a holiday promotion that includes the chance to win free food for life for you and 3 friends. McDonald's will have other food deals throughout the holiday season. It's 6:48 a.m. We're heading to break with today's Look Who's 8.
That's right, Ken. Our first one is to Raven, who is turning 8 months today. Now she loves to smile, watch her big brother, and cruise in her walker. Happy birthday, Raven.
And a happy 8th birthday to Macy. It is her golden birthday. She is strong-willed, kind-hearted, and a gymnastics-loving girl.
Happy 18th birthday to Lindsay. Now she is sweet and adventurous, and she is excited for college next fall.
So if you know a special someone turning 8 months, 8 years, 18, 80, or 88 years old soon, we would love to feature them.
Yeah, just upload their photo to our website. It's news8000.com. And you want to look for the Submit Pictures button under the Home tab on our website.
All right, stay with us, everyone. We have everything you need to know today in 5 minutes or less. Your morning news now after the break. It is 6:52 a.m. Time for your morning news now. La Crosse fire investigators are working to determine the cause of an early morning fire at the America's Best Value Inn. No one was injured. Employees at the nearby Quick Trip had called 911 to report the fire in a hotel entryway and attempted to put out the flames with a fire extinguisher. According to firefighters, the damage was contained to the exterior of the building. Once the fire was out, all guests and staff returned to the building. That hotel still open for business. A new partnership between La Crosse PD and Coulee CAP providing members of the nonprofit training now about mental health first aid. Police officers certified in mental health first aid are extending their knowledge to Coulee CAP staff. Officers say recognizing the signs of a mental health crisis is the first step. Last year in La Crosse County, 21 people died by suicide. La Crosse Police Captain Andrew Dittman says continuing to talk about mental health in the community is just one part of the solution.
sharing our experience, sharing the curriculum that we have through Mental Health First Aid, and just providing awareness regarding mental health issues.
Staff members learned how to communicate and de-escalate a situation where someone's in crisis. Coulee Cap Director Hattie Brown says by expanding the nonprofit's knowledge about mental health, it can direct people to long-term solutions. Also taking measures to ensure everyone's safety. This week, La Crosse police officers are learning crisis intervention skills. One of the department's goals is to certify all of its officers in crisis intervention. Officers train with mental health professionals, including some from the National Alliance for Mental Illness. They believe training helps the community feel safe.
When somebody may be experiencing their worst day, they're calling law enforcement, and law enforcement are showing up on scene. And so we want them to have the knowledge, the resources, and the best skills possible to approach the situation, to serve that consumer that might be in crisis.
And as a part of their training, officers will also tour Gunderson Lutheran.
As we take a look at your day planner for today, our temperatures will be well into those mid to upper teens, 7 o'clock. Partly cloudy skies really for much of the day today. Temperatures will be warming their way up into those low to mid 30s this afternoon with light southeast winds around 5 to 10.
Thanks very much, Derek. Wisconsin's DNR officials want everyone to keep waste in mind this holiday season. When you're wrapping your gifts, keep in mind that most cities don't accept wrapping paper, especially if it has foiled designs. If your recycling service does take wrapping paper, make sure it is flattened, not crumpled into a ball. Another item that ends up in the trash is string lights. Officials say do not put them in your recycling bin.
When it gets to the facility, it's very easy for a light string to get wrapped up into the equipment. You can check in your area to see if there are some special drop-off options for recycling holiday lights, but otherwise put those broken light strings in the trash.
If you have broken light strings you'd like to recycle, Rotary Lights in downtown La Crosse has a collection going. Proceeds from recycling those lights go back to funding the Rotary Club. She is the Grinch with a grin. La Crosse makeup artist April Benson spent the morning yesterday with seniors at Bethany St. Joseph Care Center, where she painted herself to look like the Grinch. Benson started doing Grinch makeovers in 2020 at the start of the pandemic. Back then, she was feeling a bit like a Grinch, weren't we all? And she needed a boost.
Ever since 2020, everybody's just, I feel like, just in a foul mood. I was just hoping to bring some joy to people's lives, including my own.
The detail on that is just spectacular. April recently appeared on the TV show Live with Kelly and Ryan in New York. Over there, she transformed into Davy Jones from the movie Pirates of the Caribbean. I got to see that photo.
That is so awesome. I love that story. Let's get checked now, our final check that is on your 8-day forecast today. 35 and partly cloudy. Looking out for a good chance of snow starting late tonight and continue through much of the morning into the early afternoon tomorrow. So something we'll have to keep our eyes on, Ken. It is an alert day that we'll have to watch out for.
All right, so that First Warn weather app going to be your friend for sure.
You're going to need that tonight, tomorrow.
All right, well, don't forget to keep up with the news of the day on news8000.com. We'll have the latest updates on noon. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.